The two main offences in the UK involving death are murder and manslaughter. In the US they have murder 1, they have second and third degree murder, they have various manslaughter offences. It's easier over here, and in this video I'll explain the difference between the UK offences of murder and manslaughter. In general terms, the most basic difference between murder and manslaughter is intent. With murder, you need to intend to kill, or at least intend to cause serious bodily harm. With manslaughter, you don't. There's only one type of murder, it's called murder, but there are three main types of manslaughter: voluntary manslaughter, gross negligence manslaughter, and unlawful and dangerous act manslaughter. To commit a murder, a jury has to be convinced beyond reasonable doubt that you have unlawfully killed someone, so it wasn't killing in self-defence or some other justified reason such as it being a lawful killing due to wartime, with the intent to kill or cause GBH, grievous bodily harm. So if you kill someone but you didn't intend to kill them or to cause them serious bodily harm, it won't be murder. It may well be manslaughter, but it's not murder. The necessary intent exists if you feel sure that death or serious bodily harm is a virtual certainty as a result of your actions. That's a case called Darren John Matthews. The prosecution has to show that your act, or sometimes omission, was a substantial cause of the death, or indeed hastened the death, such as in cases of euthanasia. But it doesn't have to be the sole or the main cause of death. Sometimes what would otherwise be a murder can be reduced to a charge or a conviction of voluntary manslaughter, and I'll go through those circumstances in a moment. But before I do, if you find this video interesting, please click the like button. I know everyone asks you to do it, and we're British, so we don't, but please do it anyway, because if enough people like my videos, it boosts this channel on the YouTube algorithm. I'll give you 4 seconds. If you would, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you. Let's turn then to look at the three types of manslaughter. There are three types of manslaughter. The first is voluntary manslaughter. That's where the ingredients of murder are made out, so you've unlawfully killed someone with the intent to kill or cause grievous bodily harm, but there's a partial defence. There are three partial defences that can reduce murder to voluntary manslaughter: diminished responsibility, loss of control, and killing in pursuance of a suicide pact. The second type of manslaughter is gross negligence manslaughter. That happens where the death is a result of a grossly negligent but not an actually unlawful or criminal act or omission on the part of the defendant. The most frequently encountered examples of this are death following medical treatment or care. The offence can be committed by any healthcare professional who has been grossly negligent, or death in the workplace, or death in custody. The classic definition comes from a case called Rudling. There's got to be a breach of an existing duty of care, which it is reasonably foreseeable gives rise to a serious and obvious risk of death, and does in fact cause death in circumstances where, having regard to the risk of death, the conduct of the defendant was so bad in all the circumstances as to amount to a criminal act or omission. The third type of manslaughter is unlawful and dangerous act manslaughter. Now that occurs if you intentionally do an unlawful and dangerous act from which death inadvertently results. Of course, if you intend death or serious injury to result, it's murder, not manslaughter. The unlawful act has to be criminal in nature. An unlawful civil offence, such as trespass or unfair dismissal, won't do. But it doesn't have to be aimed at the person who dies. So if you commit arson, for example, which is an unlawful and dangerous act, and someone dies as a result, you'll be guilty of manslaughter even if you didn't know someone was in the building that you were setting fire to. Thank you so much for watching this video. Do subscribe and click the notification bell if you want access to legal explainers on all different aspects of English law. Here are some more videos on criminal law, and here's a recent video which I think you'll like. I'm Barrister Daniel Barnett. Bye bye.